I want to just say this is a Bible study, but this is not, I don't know what a traditional Bible study is. All I know is that this is a space where none of us are pastors, none of us are preachers. We all just reading the Bible. We're trying to grow our faith. And so I want it to be an open conversation. I'm not here to preach a message. I'm here to conversate what I got out of it with my fellow community and then hear back from y'all what y'all got out of it. So I don't want it to seem like I'm trying to deliver any message. I just want to start the conversation. So with that, my overview of Job was a man who was very righteous, very abided by God, and God allowed the devil to try to do his best just to show that faith runs strong. And I'm fast forwarding through a lot just to get to the questions, but we all read the book. Uh, a big thing that it was for me was that Job constantly asked, "Let me be judged by my God, by our God, instead of you guys judging me. You guys are my friends and you think you know everything about me, but I'm telling you, let God judge me. Let him speak." So, going to the first question based off of Lewis talking about, if you lying to your mom. uh, the first question is Job effectively says, "Let God judge me, not you." What Actually, let me ask this question first. Job wanted to speak directly to God rather than his friends. When you're in pain, who do you allow to shape your identity, people or God?
Um, I used to let people. That's before I actually knew um, who I was in Christ, and before I actually started to mature more, um, and gain that confidence and
Excuse me.
in Him.
Anybody else?
I guess I mean I'll go last. For me, I always love to jump in these things, man. So
That's
I'll let
fine.
everybody else go before I do.
And also, I'm the type that forgets the question once the answers start coming. So if anybody needs me to ever repeat any of these questions, just ask. I'll repeat it as many times as we need to. It's fine.
You have the question written down for you.
I got the questions written down for me.
Just like, hey,
But
ask a question, forget about it. Hey, what was the question again?
I'm the type that let's do 25 reps, and every time I get to 10, I got to restart at 1 because I'm gonna lose count. It's not that I
be
can't
like
count above
I
10.
dropped my crayon. What?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Now, for me, man, I still let people kind of. I'm trying to let God more into it, right? Because what's it called? It's just like you want people to. I'm a people pleaser, so a lot of times it's like it's still in me, and I like that part of me, right? Because it's like in a way you're serving people, but then when the Christ comes in, the Christ part, it's like, okay, am I serving you and Christ? Right? Because it's like I say, you got an alcoholic in your house, and you're not gonna give him alcohol if he's suffering with that. So it's like, but the people pleaser in me will be like, "What you want to drink?" Like, I know you got a problem. What you want to drink, man? I don't worry about it, man.
Yeah, I feel
But
that.
the Christ in me is like, I mean, let me cut that off. You don't need that. If you have a problem with it, I shouldn't be your dealer.
Yeah,
Yeah, and that gets hard, especially when it's like the people that surrounded you because you love them, and because of the love, sometimes it's hard to. It's a thin line, and loving with your carnal heart and mindset and letting Christ take over because it's a daily um sacrifice of us setting that part aside and letting Christ work in us, and that's really hard to do. It's really hard, especially with loved ones. I'm firsthand to that. And like from the aspect of trying to be an entrepreneur and an active father and a husband at times, and also just being in the face of other people. um I'm a passionate person, and I'm very adamant about helping others, and so sometimes that line can kind of get a little blurry, like Nah, like it gets tough. It's very very tough to do.
Yeah.
But that's like I say, you gotta. That's with when you praying, you asking God to um um come in and guide you, and being mindful of that. Trying to be mindful of that, like throughout the whole day constantly. And that's sometimes very hard to do because of different now moments that happen as well. Um, but like trying to make that a, a consistent thing on a daily practice, I do find sometimes that does help me out um a lot when those different type of situations come about. Um, it does.
Yeah, the slogan, if you will, for my church is pray first. And just hearing everybody explain that so many times, because a lot of the things that we hear, especially in Christianity, are like things that are just really good catchphrases, like they hold as much weight as, like, I don't know, I'm trying to think of a good catchphrase I would use in modern day lingo, but my point being is that a lot of times they can get said and they sound so good that the meaning gets stripped away from it, and so you got to put the meaning into it. But like after really speaking with people, like pray first really just means like I'm setting my heart to God. I'm setting my my thoughts on His thoughts, which are higher than mine, and I'm allowing Him to work through me, which is another. We talked about it on the podcast, Lewis, but like allowing God to work in you is like a whole nother question mark in itself. It's like how do you do that? But like that's how you bring it to Him first. You bring these thoughts to Him first. You bring your reactions to Him first. And like even in there, I'm a big believer. You'll hear me say it a lot, if you hear me talk, but like take God out of it. What am I getting from it? Right. Because that's what I had to do to start finding my faith is I had to take God out of it. It was too supernatural for me to understand and for me to fathom, for me to try to wrap my brain around this existential being who created all of this and understands all. It was just too much. But I took God out of that, and it's like, oh, okay, I'm setting my thoughts towards not being quick to anger. I'm setting my thoughts towards like I'm just taking the psychology of changing your uh you'll have an initial reaction, right? So somebody, Lewis, you make me mad, right? My initial thoughts are anger. Is we ain't gonna put like a any actual words on it, but that feeling is anger. And then what I decide to do with that anger, no matter how it makes like real me, I want to I want to snap on him. I want to go fight him. I'm a fighter. It's easy for my body to want to do that. It's easy for K to want to do that because I'm that type of person. But I take that initial thought and I go straight to God with it. God, Lewis done pissed me off again. It's not the third time. It's not
This
the
is real
fifth
life.
time.
This
It's
is real
not the
life
10th
too.
time. It's the 300th time, and I'm about to Sparta kick him. So tell me, what do I do, God? And then you allow Him, give Him that chance. You let Him speak through you, and that's what the walk with God is to me. Again, I'm not telling anybody how to do anything, but that's what it is to me. That's what surrendering my life to Him is I'm gonna have all these thoughts, but I'm gonna go to you first with them, and I'm gonna see what you got to say. If you're quiet, then maybe I'm on the right track. Maybe I should kick him.
Ben and I were talking about. We know it's quick music, quick music, and I was talking.
Ben's fine. I don't care. That's fine, dog. That's my name.
We talking about generational curses yesterday, and it's like there's a science behind it. It's called neuroplasticity. When you're forming new neuron connections in your brain, and the older you get, the harder it is to do it. And that's kind of the thing with the scriptures in the Bible and bringing it to God. It's like to enforce that neuron connection, because even in the psychological aspect, it's like you know, kind of having that at all times of like, what should I do? What should I do? Like a little kid, right? When you're lost, right, you have a mentor, You go to, as a little kid, what should I do? What should I do, God? What should I, what should I do? What should I do? What should I do? I just wish God would like respond a little faster. Cause when my friends text me, I respond quick, right? But it'd be a whole year before I'm like, oh, that's what you meant.
Sorry, I just got to tend to the entire world.
If I may,
Absolutely.
in this passage, I think you had it right when you posed that question, or when you made that statement. Be careful who you listen to. Let's just, in the whole context of the thing, the man just lost his sons, his daughters, all of his, possessions, this and that and the other. And granted, he's got a wife over here said, just go and curse God and die. You know what I mean? And then he gets these three friends that come across from wherever they came from, and they sit and they don't say jack to him for like a week straight. You know what I mean? And then when they do open their mouths, they coming out their mouths wrong. Oh, you must have sinned. This is why this has come on you. And I forgot what the other two said, but that's when he comes back in 13. You know what I mean? Saying that, let me have silence. You know what? Shut up.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know. You're not asking me any questions. You're just automatically judging me. So why am I even hearing y'all? You know what I mean? That ain't being a friend. That's just being, well, whatever that is. You know what I mean? And this God be like, and Job be like, y'all shut up, man. I'll go plead my case to God. I'll go talk to him, because I know he knows what's shaking.
And I think that it's powerful that Job did that because, like, I don't know about y'all, but I know for me, I've had times in my life where, like the question I was asking, somebody else implanted that thought in my head that was like, "Yo, you obviously done wrong," and especially in my my this I'm gonna kind of lead in with the next question because you guys, most of y'all answered it already, but if you have to think more about this question, it's really just like a part two to that first one, which is Job effectively says, "Let God judge me, not you. What unhealthy judges do you submit to outside of God?" And so my unhealthy judge that I fall victim to is women. The women in my life will sculpt the idea I have of myself in my head. So sometimes that can range from, like, I've had women treat me like I was a king, and I felt like the king. I was doing things that were king like, and then I've had women who treated me like crap and made me feel like I was the toxic one, and made me feel like I was the one that was crazy, and like I wasn't living life right and stuff like that. And I let that shape me. I let that turn my brain into thinking that, like, yo, you ain't it, for lack of better words. Like, you're a piece of crap, and you're not worthy. That's the biggest thing, is that I'm not worthy. And it's like, if I would have took those thoughts to God, and I wouldn't have let them judge me, I would have let God judge me. I'd have read his book, and I would have been like, oh, this is what qualifies as good. This is what, oh, I do that. I do that. And I'll happily do the other stuff that I don't do. I'll follow that. Then I'm always feeling like I'm on track. I'm always gonna feel like how Job did. Job didn't, through all of that, he never wavered in the way he felt. He said, nobody other than God is going to talk me out of my position with God. So I found that powerful in myself. I had a lot of issues with the book when I first read it, but then I started getting just one reread, second reread. I started getting more in this one specific thing, that seeing how strong he was to what he stood on. Like, I respected that a lot, and I didn't get that until like the third read through.
Um, for me, in that context of it, I would say it was my own self, like judging my own self, uh, too harshly, not having no patience or no grace with myself, and that's very important. I remember, what was it? Not last year, but the year before last. Um, for y'all who don't know, I have a landscaping and a lawn care business. Um, and my second year of business, um, God has blessed me tremendously in so many forms and fashion. But during this particular time, um, I had all my equipment stolen. Everything,
Mhm.
everything was stolen. My wife and I, we had a house that we were blessed with. I apologize, my toddler in the background if y'all hear him. Um, and the house was broken into. We had like $10,000 worth of materials. Um, just household items and all of those things stolen. Like everything was stolen. TVs, AC units, like I say, my lawn care equipment, everything was stolen. And it crushed me. I cried for a whole week. Every day I'm crying. And that humbled me so much. That humbled me so much. I had different people that was around, they kind of knew of what was going on in the situation and everything. And I felt like I real deal felt like Job in that moment, to where everything is being stripped away. Of course, I didn't lose my family, but it felt like I was a snap away from losing it, and I literally felt like him. Um, and I just had to go with complete silence. Like it felt like I was fasting from everybody that was around me, and I had to pray and pray and pray and pray and pray. And I sent so many prayers up. I I never prayed like that, like at any other point in my life, like I was praying then. Um, because I didn't know what to do. I didn't know why. I didn't know where to go. Like because that's my livelihood. Like to have your livelihood stripped away from you and you felt like you didn't put your all into this when you started it and you didn't have nothing but $40 when you started and everything gets stripped away is it's hard to fathom why. Like why, Lord, what am I doing wrong? Like why, how could you let this happen? And I pray, but he had to again humble me and was like, is he not almighty? Does he not have all power? Like, does he not restore? Can he not hit a reset button at any given moment? And it humbled me so much to think that I was so almighty in my own self to think that God couldn't do turnaround.
And I got a
To
question
think that
for
I
you. Like
uh-huh.
with that, when you felt the I mean, it had to have, I could feel it right now, even. I could feel that there was an emotional shift in you in that moment in time. Like when the prayer took and there's just something emotional that happened in you that was like, yo, God can fix this. God can fix way worse than this. So I'm feeling that through what you're saying. And how did again, I'm always the take God out of it type. Once that emotional shift happened, what physically shifted in your life?
um I used to smoke weed myself. I got black lips, real dark ones. They come from smoking. I smoked a lot of bud. Um for some reason, bro, but from that time on, from when that happened on up until we end up moving and stuff like that, he would wake me up at from the hours of 12 o'clock in the morning to 3 o'clock, 3:30 sometimes. And I would go outside immediately. I would pray, 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 pray. I'm lighting up my blunt. I'm lighting up the blunt, and I'm out there praying, like outside praying, just walking up and down praying, lighting a blunt, walking up and down praying, and I'm just asking God, like really at this point, I'm not even asking for anything. I'm praying for everybody else on the street. I'm praying for everybody else on the street, and the only thing that I'm asking God for is for strength, for me to be strong for my family. And I'm praying for everybody else that surround me. I can't even fathom on what to pray for myself. Like I wasn't praying for new equipment. I wasn't praying for a, a opportunity for a job. I wasn't praying for any of those things.
No, I get what you mean. It was like at that
And
point
in
you
the
gave it
midst
to
of me
him.
praying one time, uh,
Oh, my fault. I was just saying, like at that point, you gave it to him. You was like, I'm gonna let you work. Like I feel that. I feel myself a lot. I feel myself going through that change too, where it's no longer. I think I was going through like a super control type of situation where I was trying to make a lot of stuff happen for myself, and then eventually it was just like things not working out, and then boom, I had that same shift that you had, which was like God could fix this. God could fix me, and if He wanted to, he'd do this for me. If He wanted to fix the women problem, He put one in my life. If He wanted to fix the money problem, it would have gotten fixed earlier. And so then once I made that shift in my mind state, like I was asking you, like that's when I could see, I could sense that in my prayers too. Now that I'm thinking about it, ever since that moment, it was a lot more like, God, I just pray for guidance. I pray that you walk me in the right, or that I'm walking in the direction that you want me to be walking in. And if I'm ever not, please correct me, just guide me. And ever since then, it wasn't no more like you said, I'm not praying for equipment. I wasn't praying for my bills to get paid. I started tithing and just being like, just go ahead, just take it. I don't understand the bills or how they're gonna get paid right now, but I'm just gonna give this. I said it in my brain. It wasn't 10% at first. It was just like all I can give is 100. That's all I can give, and then eventually that crept up till I got to 10%, and it was like I don't know how to explain that to people because even I had an issue with tithing at first, but now I'm realizing just like to pray first, it's just about sending it to God first. I believe that all my things, all good will come through giving it to God first. And so that with that, like I was saying on the podcast, is like I give up the understanding of like what I need, God. Maybe I don't need the equipment. Maybe I don't need this bill paid. Maybe I need to learn my lesson. Maybe I don't need a woman right now. Maybe I need to learn how to be alone. And that's when I really start. That's when you start listening to him. So my bad, Dick. I didn't mean to cut you off and start that. I just wanted to say I can relate heavily.
I know you're fine.
Ben, you ever had something that's similar? Well, actually, matter of fact, I think right now, because I mean, do you mind if I share? What can you share? What we talked about? Your battle right now,
Which one?
the weed one,
Which one?
the marijuana. From now, the marijuana one.
We all got them. We all got problems.
um, my for the past 2-3 years, Bo. Um, not that weed ain't always been a part of my life, but this started with me when some of the elders in my church were considering making me a deacon in the church. And one of the things me and Lewis talk about is that you know what, God will break a man before He uses him, and
Amen.
and that's what's been going on. I've been stoned 2-3 years, dog. Man, I can't remember 2-3 days that I've been sober, and you know when God started, I mean, I was playing in the bars like I was telling y'all on Discord. You know what I mean? I was out here chasing a false Christ, chasing fame and notoriety and all this stuff. You know what I mean? Because I wanted to be validated, because that's what I thought I wanted. That's what my flesh wanted. That's what the world wants, and that's what the devil wants. Wants us chasing them false Christ. But what it done, it took me away from being a husband to my wife, from being a father figure in my family, and it hurt my witness as a Christian. Man, it got to the point where I was out of church for 2-3 years. You know what I mean? I ain't even stepped foot in the door because number one, I didn't want to. Number two, I was embarrassed to be in there. You know what I mean? How am I going to be up in there like that? You know what I mean? Going around passing the communion plate. You know what I mean? Knowing that I'm not in the right. You know what I mean? So I just like, nah. I just go and hold on to that. And I got ill. I got irritated, hating on the church. You know what I mean? And this and that and the other. And God started dealing with me over. I quit by God's grace. I've been quit for like a month now. You know what I mean? And in that meantime, God's been dealing with some truths on me, and He's been calling me to myself because, well, we'll get into that the further I get to know y'all guys. Um, but God's been dealing with me with some truths about myself and who I am. I will share this. Um, we was talking about Lewis and I were talking about being diverse. You know what I mean? And my music and this and that and the other. And it kind of sent me on a journey. And this kind of goes by be careful who you listen to. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And but Lewis said some things to me. He's like, man, that's some diversity right there. You know, because like what if I like rap and R&B, I'm all West Coast. You know what I mean? When I like Southern rock, I'm all about the Southeast and blues. You know what I mean? I'm all about the South.
Mm.
You know, and then but God took that and and I was telling Lewis this last night before my phone died. Um, I like that music just because I love music, but I wanted that persona in my life. You know, I wanted to be a thug. I wanted to be a gangster. You know, I wanted to be all them things. But that ain't what God. I realized that ain't me. That ain't what God. That ain't what God has for my life. Like I told Lewis, I'm not even a good fighter, but I will throw him if I got to. You know
Yes,
what I
sir.
mean?
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying?
We could do all things.
Yeah, and so you know, I was out there a wannabe. You know what I mean? And so now, what God has been working on, He's been breaking me down and making me come to some truths about myself, and like sharing it with people. You know what I mean? Being real, being transparent. You know, and this is like, who are you listening to? You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, no, I definitely get that. I feel like that's I can speak for me and Lewis's journey at least. I feel like that's our thing too. Like we're hitting this completely new phase. I mean, you guys got to understand it was maybe a month and a half ago that me and him sat down to make a song, and if we're really like, this is how crazy and intricate God's plan is for us. Is he came over, and sorry if I'm giving up a little too much information, but he came over upset, right? He didn't have the greatest week, and he needed to vent. And our old thing to vent was with music. You know, he was supposed to come over. We were supposed to do something musical, make a beat, and make a song probably, and just record. And then we get the beat made quick, quick, and it's like it's a great beat. And then, mind you, I think that we started off with what, Gilead, right?
It was Demon Stomper.
Demon Stompers. That's what it was. The Demon Stompers beat came out quick. I don't know why, but for whatever reason, I felt in my heart. I said, you know what? Let's make this about God. Let's just talk about the song. So let's make Christian music. I had just recently started listening to Hovey and a bunch of other things. So the timing on that again was perfect because I hadn't made music in almost a year, up until a month and a half, 2 months ago. So like I really wasn't in it. Hadn't been mixing, hadn't been producing or anything like that. Then I started hearing Hovey, and then this guy wants to come over and make music, and then I was just like, let's make some Christian music. Crazy. And then we didn't even finish that song. We will finish that song. Actually, BK, you should hop on that. There's an open slot on it that I listened to your other songs, and I think you'd fit on it. But I I was like, let's do that. We didn't finish that song. We got a thing between us where like we're never gonna get stumped on a song for too long. So as soon as we start hitting some walls, we just on to the next one. And we go to load up the next track, and like we go to start making a whole new beat. And mind you, we're coming from a time place where me and Lewis used to make 3 beats in 3 months. And we go to start this next beat, and it hit my head that a friend at work, he told me about He's like, I've never heard anybody sample this song. It's called "The Balm in Gilead," which is a song referencing them saying like you don't believe there's a healing balm in Gilead, the healing balm being Jesus Christ. He was saying that he's the balm in Gilead. Like there is help in Gilead. So I got a whole history lesson on it, and then I was like, let's figure it out. I'm not a sampler by any means, but I drop it in. I somehow figure out how to get the stems to it. I still haven't figured out how to do another song like that since, but we'll figure it out later. I got all the stems for it. We got, just fast forward through that. We made a fire beat right after making another fire beat. And then Lewis gets on, writes most of it, and then I help him write parts of it. And we come up together with like a glass record better than I think anything we've ever made before that quick. And then we made another beat after that and started a whole nother song. I think I started writing to my Book of Elijah song, which is a beat I made about Christianity almost like 4 years ago, but never finished because I never really got into the faith. I just know that I was converting. So the song is like, let me finish up my drink because you've been on the wrong side. Because this is another thing. I'm not cussing in my Christian rap anymore, but I was cussing back at the time. So it was like, let me finish up my drink because you've been on the wrong side because shit ain't what it seems. Lately, I've been on the brink of understanding what it means when you tell me walk in faith that I could never see. And I was literally on that's what I felt at that moment 3 or 4 years ago. I was on the cusp of belief, but I wasn't there yet. And so now I opened it up with my newfound like understanding of Christianity and stuff like that. And I say all of this not to give you a whole backdrop of my life, but just to say God works in crazy, intricate ways. And it wasn't for nothing. All the sitting in studio sessions with 20 guns behind me and dudes sipping lean and falling asleep next to me and all that, it wasn't for nothing. God will take anything. God will use anything.
And that goes back to something else when I was telling that I would play in bars, but I won't play in the church. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, God calling me out of that, I'm all like, what in the world am I doing with my music? Because I got this talent you got me. You know what I mean? What do I do with it? Lo and behold, I wasn't even expecting out of nowhere. Here you guys go. You know what I mean? And I'm
It
like,
was another random idea.
Well, look at here. What?
It was just another random idea that we had that we full sent and only full sent it because of God.
So when you said whole like take all your equipment, and you're like, God, why? That was happening to me because I was in the shower. So it's like I was investing in the stock market, because everything was going up. I mean, everything was doubled, like just off of 2 months, it started doubled. That government shut down, a bunch of stuff disappeared. And I'm in the shower like, God, this is supposed to be the way I get rich so I can help my family, because that's all I really wanted, just to like help my family or help my friends. And I was like, this is the way you're taking that away from me. I'm so attached to the money, to the status, to the success of it. Like, I'm so attached. And there's a thing that Buddha says that attachment is suffering. And so I'm in the shower and I'm just like, why am I'm suffering for money? Scripture says, it was Matthew 6:27. Can any of you add an hour to your life by worrying? It says the birds never worry about their next meal. And I'm like, God has never let me down. And I'm thinking because I'm losing this money, I'm not gonna eat anymore. And I was like, I'm pathetic. Like I had so much, I was in harder situations and I had so much faith during that time. I got it good. And now I don't know, God, all of a sudden I don't trust the plan now. All of a sudden I don't trust, having my back. And I think with the thing with Emmett and Job, it was like that. It was like during the good times, during the bad times, God was always there. Because just because the beginning of your story, sorry, it's how your story ends, not how it starts. You know, because like I had credit card debt. I mean, I was married before. I make a little joke, you know, okay, because I feel like I had the story of Job because I was married before, blonde hair, white girl, and can you recording this?
Absolutely. Oh
So
yeah,
okay,
I meant
so
to ask that at the beginning. Are you guys okay with it being recorded? If not, it can get deleted. It's fine. It's really just a post.
scare people. Well, anyway, I was married before with a kid, right? Almost bought a house, had money in the bank, everything, and then I went to lost it all. You know, most darkest moments of my life. And in that moment, I was like, God, I need your help. Whatever you need me to do, I'm gonna do it. Like whatever it is to get, where I need to get, let's do it. I'm down.
And he started
And
giving it
it's
to you.
yeah, it's funny because it's a guy I was listening to. I put it in the chat in the sermon, and he says the people walk up to him and go, "I want to be a Christian." And he goes, "Are you sure? This ain't easy. It's not cute. It's not adorable. It's not fun, right? Because you're like, God, make me better, make me stronger. Now you got weights. God, make me patient. Now you got that one annoying friend. God, make me this or whatever. Oh, he's gonna. It's like putting silver through the fire to remove the impurities. You're gonna feel that burn. I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, and I fear no evil. Yeah. So
Whatever.
yeah, that the
Listen, bro,
fear that I
even
walk.
Moses was scared.
I fear no. Yeah. So man, that's what you go through right now with me
Moses
too.
said,
When you
"You
going
want me
through,
to speak?" He said, "Fine, I'll
yeah.
send your brother."
That's what you went through, B too, with losing all your stuff. That was the shadow of death, man. That was the valley of the shadow of death, and you was going into. And before that, you was like, "Oh man, I ain't scared. I ain't terrified. God got me." And then that was just one thing. That was just one
One
thing,
thing.
man. One
You th-
thing, and broke you.
yeah, and you think about
And we
that with
all go
Sauce,
through it
what you
over
was
and
talking
again, over and
about.
over again. My bad. Go
Yeah, I
ahead.
mean, you think what you was talking about. You're renting a song, Book of Elijah or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But on that, if we remember the story of Elijah and the prophets of Baal, he got all the prophets of Baal. You know what I mean? And with the burnt offerings and this and that and the other. And I mean, he's sitting there clowning on them. Hey, where's your God at? You know what I mean? Maybe he's in the bathroom, maybe he's on vacation, and this and that and the other. But in the very next chapter, he's running from Jezebel. He's off in the mountains somewhere.
Yeah,
You know
he
what I
got
mean? And they
scared.
talk about they're going to take me. And you just, you're like, what? Spiritual Tourette's?
Yeah, yeah, for real. Spiritual
Keep that
Tourette's.
spiritual Tourette's.
Yeah, I like
Keep that. That's the new lingo. That's the new lingo. Spiritual Tourette's.
All right, I got 650. So we'll do one more question. So it's which one should I pick? We got two questions left. I was just asking both in tandem. Really, you can answer them both at the same time. So, one, why do humans feel a stronger need to defend themselves to people than to God, even though God sees the heart? And then two, why is vulnerability with God harder than vulnerability with people? And before we answer, I'm gonna read the one bit of scripture, and then you guys can answer or have me re-ask the question. But one very important part that stuck out to me, which anybody else can throw in any scripture after this too. I just want to go through that first part of Job 13. It's a very pivotal part for me. My eyes have seen all this, my ears have heard and understood it. What you know, I also know. I am not inferior to you, but I desire to speak to the Almighty and argue my case with God. So going back to the question, I only wanted to bring that up before is because why is vulnerability with God harder than vulnerability with people? And you get to see a prime example of somebody who chooses not to fall to that vulnerability.
Um, I believe it's because he's angelic. And in hindsight, we cannot see him. It's so easy to talk to somebody that's face to face with you. It's so easy to for me to go in there to my wife. I've been knowing her for, years now. It's easy for me to go in there and talk to her, be like, hey babe, woo doo woo woo. Like, or if I was to call my mom, be like, hey mom, woo doo woo doo woo doo woo woo woo. Like, because it's the intimacy that you have built in that relationship with that person of a day in, day out, or every few days out the week, like being able to share and you can feel that trust. Um, because also think about how crazy do you look at yourself when the first time that you prayed to God and you was like, God, if you really real, I don't know if y'all ever said that. If y'all had that moment, God, if you really real, do
Everybody.
this. Like, prove to me that you are real. Like, I need some physical proof. I need to see something.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's what sets it apart. It's because I can see y'all right here in front of me. I can hear y'all clear as day right here in front of me. I can touch this microphone. It's tangible. I can't touch God. As much as I reach up right now, I'm not touching nothing but open air, open space. And that's hard for people to wrap their heads around. But when you come into that experience and then you realize like none of this would have been going on if I wouldn't have prayed what I prayed.
Mhm.
Like it's I see he gave me some eyes to see now and some ears to start hearing now. Now we finna start making this make sense. What else can you do for me? You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
yeah.
Like, but that's what I think it thrives from. Just from like people trying to use their logical sense.
I think that
And
makes a lot of sense actually. I never would have thought about answering that question like that, but that actually makes total sense. It's hard. I mean, we that goes even deeper into thinking like when you talk about that intimacy you created with your loved ones, you know how each one of them thinks. Going back to what Creek said and Lewis is like watch who you spread your information to cuz like I I just told this to somebody. I think it was a female at work, but it was like she took this information and took it to a gossiper. You know what I'm saying? And what type of feedback do you expect to get back? Probably not good feedback on how you should actually do something about it. You're probably gonna get gossip back. Be like, that pettiness back, And so you have to constantly how do I explain it? Like when you say that I guess bringing it back to the point is like when you say it's hard to he's not tangible, like we don't even understand how he thinks. I know we read the book, but like you got to know these people. I know when I'm in somebody's face, especially like my female, right? My queen or whatever. I know everything about a look that she gives. I'd be like, it's that time of the month. I already know she's trying to eat, but she's also not hungry for anything that I would give her. She just hungry in a hangry way, but she not actually gonna eat anything that I'm about to give her. There's nothing I could buy to fix her situation. I know that off
that's
of
how
off
that
of
gets with
one
you.
look. Yeah, like off of one look. But like, how can I do that with God? I don't actually know that. I know what people have told me, even the book. These are all what people have told me about God, but I don't actually like know God, and that I've been working on that recently. Really, really, just trying to give God a chance to speak to me without me speaking to Him, not in prayer, just like listening to Him, and then just really trying to work on that relationship. So I do feel that way that you're talking about. Even though it doesn't make sense, I'll never tangibly feel like I'm touching him or I'm getting to know him. But if that's as close as I can get as building that relationship, I wanna make sure I got that.
Yeah,
It's
I
so
don't
great.
know who's. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, just to follow. Who was that? I don't know if it was Peter or someone else. He says, because in that he says, "I believe, but help my disbelief." You know, and because I mean, on the surface, we're all about praising God and this and that, but in practice, we're more like atheists.
Yeah, I've been there. I'm where I work through it every day, I should say. I ain't even gonna say
Me
like I'm
too,
over
Bo.
that. Every day I'm sitting there
we really
battling my
act
old
like
self.
atheists
Yeah.
It happened.
because what you said too, BK. You know what I mean? We can't seem. You know what I mean? And so we're like, how are we gonna believe in something that we can't see? That's why they call it faith, I reckon.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
100%.
It's Mark.
bro.
It was Mark
Facts.
9:24. If anybody who's listening, because it's on video on recording, Mark 9:24. I do believe help me overcome my unbelief, and it's like same thing with Peter on the boat on the water with Jesus. I was watching The Chosen. I was going through something dark
I rewatched
during that time. My wife went to military training. I had my son by myself. I was getting overwhelmed. You know, I was in my depression, those dark thoughts that like, better off. Or it'd be less stressful this life if I was gone. You know, for me, right? Because you're gone, you can't stress out if you're gone, right? Um, and so I'm watching The Chosen, and they had a little extra flair into it. Peter, I don't want to spoil the show, but it is what it is. Spoiler alert. So you want to cut the next 45 seconds right now. So Peter in the story, he had the woman had a child. His wife had a child, and he lost the child, and he's with Jesus. So he starts to not trust, Jesus starts to get mad at him. And so they're on the boat, and it's stormy, and then Jesus comes onto the water, and Peter is like challenging him. They frame it from this perspective, where Peter's like challenging him. Like, if you really real, that's really you, let me walk in the water. He's like, go ahead, do it. And he did it. And now he's like, Jesus, help.
Help me.
And it was just like, and
he
he grabbed them and he said, keep your eyes on me. That part, just, E2, when you're going through your thing, when y'all going through your thing, you on the water. You should, help me. And you don't gotta do anything besides keep your eyes on him. So you still eating, there's still a roof over your head. Nothing has gone besides what you think is gone. And I think the reason, like you said, it's hard to connect with hard to connect with God versus people because we never built that relationship. It's never been built. It's weird. It's not really encouraged.
Very weird.
Right? Yeah. It's like I'm really just talking to, hey God, I think you're there. What's up? I mean, the prayers get answered, right? The maturity happens, but it's not the natural feedback, the feed loop. Hey, okay, help me with this. He goes, I got you. God, help me with this. And it'd be like, it could be from 1 week to 9 months, right? Oh, when you're ready. So I think that's why it's much easier. But I think our wisdom grows when we learn that pattern. There is a certain pattern. If you're not getting what you're praying for, you're not ready. For me, it's that. If I'm not getting what I prayed for, A, is not meant for me, or B, I'm not ready.
Yeah. Sometimes God be saying no.
And and like a little kid, like my little child, I tell him no candy before dinner. And he's why? No candy, it's gonna ruin your appetite. I don't care. And it's like, imagine God up there, man. Imagine God, he's like,
And that right there, that put so much into my perspective when my son started talking. I'm like, bro, if God looks at me like I look at him, ooh wee. Oh my goodness. But it's also a way that we come to God. It's a way that you're supposed to come to God. And uh when you coming to him and you asking him for different things. And it's a way that it's an order. It's an order. You want to start off with worship. You start off with worship and you come boldly and confident with confidence to his throne. Um and aside from that, be sincere with your heart, be open with your heart, be vulnerable. And that's hard. If you got to get down and you boo-hoo crying and when you surrendering it, do it with all your heart. Don't play around with that. And you ask for his will to be done. like outside of just asking for things. Because think about Solomon. Um, he gained wisdom not by asking for his enemies' heads or anything like that. Not to he wanted to be wise in how he ruled God's people and how he led them.
That's
And he found
powerful.
that
That's powerful
he
right
found
there.
that to be humble. Mary was chosen because she wanted to be humble. She was humble. And that's like the humbleness of our hearts, the surrendering of our will. That's what moves God. Not the theatrics, not just because we are great and talented people when it comes to music or whatever. Like he appreciates it. I'm sure he appreciates it a whole lot. But when you saying, God, I'm giving you my heart, I'm surrendering this to you, I'm giving everything unto you, my voice, the way I think, the way I talk, the way I walk. I'm just giving it all to you. And I'm doing this daily. Because it's the consistency. Think about when Moses was up there on the mountain. How many times did he go up there and how long he spent with him? It's the consistency.
40 days.
Because I can call you one day and be like, hey bro, woo woo woo, chop it up with you one time. But like, all right, a month go past, and then I call you and I be like, hey, can I get $100? You looking at me like, bro, what is you talking about? Can you
Who
get
are
$100?
you?
Exactly.
Hood behaviors.
Behavior. Yeah, don't you
But
ever hit me up
man,
like that? Nah, bro.
I'm gonna say that I'd like to say this and get out of the way. Let y'all do y'all's thing, or let finish it off. But number one, like you were saying, like the topic was, be careful who you listen to. Be careful of the ones you are vulnerable with. Even with you guys, I know we're all brothers and this and that, but Jesus didn't trust himself to everyone. Why? Because he knew what's in the heart of man. So that teaches
Your
us to
heart,
be,
Proverbs.
yeah. And the second thing, God don't need none of us. None of us. He don't need us out here making music and this and that and the other, but we do it because it's a gift that he's given us, Bo. You know what I mean?
I'm so
All
glad
of
you
us, and
said
not
that,
And we're
Greek.
not to
also
That
glorify
actually,
ourselves, but to glorify him. You know what I mean? It ain't nothing about us, nothing, because he can raise up rocks to praise him.
thanks.
exactly. I put this in the chat that perfectly sums up what I was gonna finish with. Was the last highlight I had for the book, which was look up at the heavens. Actually, I'll even start a little bit before that. I'll just start at the beginning. It says, then Elihu said, do you think this is just? You say I am in the right, not God. Yet you ask him, what profit is it to me? And what do I gain by not sinning? I would like to reply to you and your friends with you. Look up at the heavens and see. Gaze at the clouds so high above you. If you sin, how does that affect him? If your sins are many, what does that do to him? If you are righteous, what do you give to him? Or what does he receive from your hand? Your wickedness only affects humans like yourself, and your righteousness only other people. And I won't read the rest of it, but that's like a huge thing in that book for me too. Is it goes to everybody, the judges, the person who's committing whatever act or whatever that anybody wants to speak on, is like none of these rules that God gave us, none of that stuff was ever about him. The only thing he asked you to do is love him. And even that was in part for you because he knows what's best for you and humanity. All these rules and stuff had nothing to do with like, yeah, he hates them, he finds them detestable, but the only reason he does is because he loves you. And he knows that these things are not beneficial to you. So when people are like, "Oh, why do I have to do all this to please him?" You don't please him. You just trying to make the world a better place. You know what I'm saying? Like you're just doing all the right things. God only put that in place for your happiness.
me too, like you said with your son. Does he bring you stuff and like, look what I did, daddy? And you're like, that's
Yeah,
cool.
I can
You
imagine
don't really,
that.
it's not impressive. That's cool.
He
But let's
brings
say
you
he starts
brings
helping
you a
you with the
rock.
business. Yeah,
I used to be that kid. I used to bring my parents rocks. I remember that. I'd be like,
That's awesome.
here,
God,
look.
look, I wrote a whole symphony for you. And he's like, that's cool. You know, did you take care of your woman? No,
Did you
but
clean your room?
I did this, God. Like, okay, cool. Did you take care of your
Like
children?
what we were just talking about last night.
Yeah. That's cool. Like my son does that. Hey, I want him to, I got plans for him, like Jeremiah 29:12. I got plans for you for you to prosper. And you out here giving me rocks. Like I don't want rocks. I need you to learn how to clean. I need you to learn to say please and thank you.
Stop peeing on the toilet.
Yeah. I need you to, you know, because like if to me, I always kind of look at it because again, how Kay said, remove the whole concept of like, you know, move like God from it, and it's like from the because of this book, you know, is like if we were to categorize it, be more on the philosophical, right, as human beings, right. So I kind of always like look at it like, you know, what is God, and from everything that I'm always reading, it's like this: he's a harmonizer. And you know, when
Great
it comes to harmony, like
psychologist.
when it comes to music, like when it comes to music, you don't put every chord together, right? To get a nice flow, nice beat, you got to put certain notes together, right? And so it's like to me, it's like God, I wanna be a C major, you know, C E G, and I'm out here playing a D note in there, and he's like, no, 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 no. But I'm like, God, but it sound good. He's like, it don't sound good. You know, some rappers, it sound good. Put that in, it sound good. Put that in there. It don't sound good.
Said, bro,
You know,
change my
and then
auto
God be
tune.
like, everybody who's an engineer or producer understand, I put it in there, whatever. And then he gets bad feedback. Yo, why you let me put that in there? I told you it didn't sound good.
Yeah.
And sometimes you gotta like God gonna let you fall because it's not even for him, it's for me. I gotta do it. I gotta fall so I can understand because I'm not smart enough to see it in a higher level. I gotta let my kid fall sometimes. Sometimes he putting his fingers in the electrical socket. I'm just like, go ahead. You're gonna learn today. I told you 4 times not to do it.
Go ahead, Sparky.
Thank God his mom is there.
You gonna be stupid, you better be tough.
Yeah.
I believe wasn't it David that said it was good that he went through hardships and stuff like that. It was good that he went through that so that he can grow.
Yeah, I remember what you're talking about, but I can't remember who said it either. But yeah, it's like I know it honestly gets said so much in the Bible. Even in what is it, Ephesians or Corinthians? I think. Oh no, it's Romans. I was way off. Romans 5, where he's like, where character produces or struggle produces character, character produces hope, and so on and so forth. But it was just like it really stuck out to me because it's like everything I've been through, I could be as mad as I want, but it's so much sculpted where I'm at right now. Like I said, I mean, even with the Discord itself, I don't know what matters or what not. When it comes to me and Lewis knows that I'm the take my time and get quality right type of guy. Like I'm very much that type. So this Discord would have taken me 5 months to make. You know what I'm saying?
I got
But
kids. I like to just, you know, hurry
yeah,
up, let's go.
and
Even if
he's
we fall 1,000 times, we'll stand up.
yeah.
I'm in a mix of it both. Like
Yeah.
sometimes I'm just like, man, I'm finna just do it. And then other times I'm like, no, I want to get it right.
Yeah, and so it's nice though because we have each other to balance each other, off that way. But in that, like even with the Discord, another just small thing that really stood out to me as this is God's timing is I've had so many beats that I didn't send nowhere, I didn't do anything with. I just been sitting. They're not bad beats, but when I was engineering, I wasn't a beat seller. People needed beats. I would get it to them on the spot because they're like, "Yo, I need a beat tonight." And then, but I was never putting my stuff on BeatStars. I was never putting my stuff on YouTube. I was never promoting that side of me. So it would seem like me going to school and all this different stuff doing the intern shit. I did a lot when it came to music. I came out bussing for music, like just anything I could do. I'm staying at the studio 24 hours a day. I'm pulling up to the studio at 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm pulling up the studio at 3 o'clock in the morning. All types. I was hitting every session I possibly could. I was going all in for music, and it seemed for a while there And I kept it in the back of my mind. I just tried not to think about it, but it seemed like a while it was for nothing. I just got a funny way of timing because then the Discord pops off and I get to dump 20 something. That's nowhere near all the beats. That's nowhere near the beats I got just saved on here. And it was just like, yeah, just go ahead and start dumping them. And I never cared about where they went anyway. And if I did, that question mark on whether I should put this beat on there or not, it was like, this is for God. And it was like send. And everything is just so easy at that point. But that's all due to God. God put me in the right places because he knew I wouldn't listen in a Christian setting back then. I didn't have that in me. He knew I wasn't gonna get the skills I needed to then in a Christian studio or a Christian production team. Like he knew I wasn't gonna get it. I wish that I was a better servant and I didn't have to do that, but at least God knows me since I didn't know myself.
Yeah, you're right, man.
Before we get out of here though, does anybody else have any piece of scripture that they wanted to talk about or just share for the group real quick?
Man, we could be here all night with all that.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure that everybody got a chance to get out. If there was something still on their mind, they can get it out now.
I got a couple of scriptures. We're gonna start off from Genesis.
Why your book got dust on it?
The last one is Revelation.
Yeah, that's one. Just
All right.
get comfortable.
So I meant to say it at the beginning. That's my fault. But we're gonna be recording these every time we do it, and then we'll probably drop clips on like Instagram and TikTok. And then if you guys want to make sure that I would message Lewis, the Iron Sharpens Iron. Just DM him with your like username or whatever on TikTok and Instagram. Those are going to be the only two places we really post. And then we'll make sure to tag you in each of those clips too. So if you want,
yeah, you guys hit me up on IG too, man.
Yeah, for sure.
If you want, if you want to.
Yeah, for sure.
I love having this discourse. I'm getting ready to do some things on there. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
sometimes
that haunted beat, man. The guitar.
Did you like that?
That's a good boom bap. I was like, oh, let's make an easy boom bap.
Did I do that for you?
I got the rest of the night off. I have the 3 files. Like I know where they're at, but I was waiting to hear them when I go to actually work on it, which will be tonight. So
yeah, Kate spent the last 2-3 hours. Oh, I was recording that song for Joshua. He was in here trying to get it so we could record it. Because the whole thing about this, it's like, like every church or every group, they have their own kind of culture, and and it's like when you have a leader, it's like I'm going to school for mental health counseling, and so in my class right now it's like group counseling, like how to do a group. And there's 3 kinds of leaders. There's the authoritarian leader, he's like, this is how you got to do it. And then there's the democratic leader, which is like half, and then there's the laissez-faire leader, which is like, you do you. And so, I grab it. So it's like, this is like another avenue, because to me, I've done a lot of groups, right? And I've never seen one for Christian artists, because it's a niche, and B, I don't know you guys, and yeah, you got the same struggles that I got, but I talk to somebody else, we may have the same struggles, but not in the same way. Like, it's just like, how do I say, like, we both can eat cake, but I like chocolate cake and you like strawberry cake, but it's both cake. Yeah, but I like chocolate cake. Like, we're musicians, like, we're 2 in the morning, you got to play piano, your wife is like, why you can't come to bed? And you're like, I got this beat in my head, and it's like, oh, and you're getting judged for it, and it's like, something wrong with me.
Imagine you're like the New York deli guy. You're like, I'm working here.
So, and it's like, I see in the Discord, everybody's like gravitating because we all got the same struggle. Joshua was up to like 3 in the morning recording music. I stayed up to like 2 in the morning recording music. People don't understand that, right? But on top of that, there's also Christian. Because one thing I hated about working with people is just they seem so selfish. And they was, what can you do for me? So it's like this mission is like, what can we do for God? What can we do for? I mean, even though we're just bringing rocks to Him, I think he enjoys the fact that we're making each other better. I think
Shiny
that part he cares. Like, oh, you helped B2 with his stuff, or or you helped K with the stuff. I like that. I appreciate that because when two or more
Gathering his name.
gathering his name.
yeah. So I think in that way, it's like we're serving each other, man. It's not even just making music together. It's more like your spirit is being fed. My spirit is being fed. My strength is being fed. I'm walking out here in a happier mood. My wife noticed. She ain't even mad about the Discord. She's like, yeah, keep having that. You're in a better mood. You're in a better mood. Yeah. Keep talking to them.
Just make sure you come to bed tonight.
honey, I made this song. Sure, it's cute. I like it. That's nice. In your room.
I appreciate y'all though. I appreciate y'all for coming to this. I appreciate y'all for taking part. We'll be trying to do this again soon, and we'll just let y'all know when the next time is.
Hey, God bless you. Good meeting y'all, man.
You too, man. God bless y'all.